motion be considered, or that those who made the motion accept it as an amendment, which they did. And here is the resolution that actually was adopted. To cooperate with the city's insurers carriers to settle the Thomas case at no cost to the city in a manner to protect the city and its taxpayers from any further liability or expense. We did not have input into the amount. It's kind of interesting how that came about. It had been set for trial, jury had been chosen, and the opening statements were set for this Monday unless it's settled. There was a mediator involved, a judge who had retired and had decades of experience both as a trial judge and as a mediator. And the parties, as it was reported to us by our trial counsel, were pretty far apart, with the Thomas attorneys demanding something in the $8 million plus range, and our attorneys were not willing to go that high. The mediator, kind of as a last attempt, did what they call a double blind. He gave his own opinion of value. He gave a note to each side. You could either say yes or no. If both parties said yes, the case would be settled. The number the mediator gave was $4.9 million. That is not our number. We, in fact, did not have any input into that number. All we did was agree to cooperate with the carrier and eliminate the risk of no coverage. Now, the number is curious. I don't think there's any number that makes anybody happy. I've heard from the public saying it wasn't high enough. Some said it was way too high. Myself, there's only one number that would have made me happy, and it was not attainable. That number was 0. So there is no magic number in any of this. I did check informally. I understand our rates will not be increased as a result of this settlement. There will be a normal, no more than normal increase that you might expect in the future. That is something that these particular carriers absorb and spread among their pool of risk. There are some, people talk about facts. I think they all came out during the criminal trial. I know of no more facts, personally, that have not been put out in the public. Go check on that. I think the tape itself speaks pretty loud. It was actually produced and put together by the Fullerton PD. That tape was out there before I was elected. I think it's important here also to note that the police officers involved here have been terminated, but they're appealing that termination. Ultimately, this council may act as a hearing board, and so it's not appropriate for us to really say much about their conduct, or we might be disqualified from that activity. I think if you extend this out, because we were told the trial would last through February, another $500,000 would be needed, because we were paying not only our own fees, but those of all of the other defendants involved. That's one of the things we're required to do. I'm sorry, that's what the law is. That's what we've been doing. And it was of great concern to me, although I did not like the number, that we would put other things at risk during this time. An unknown was out there. The judgment could have come in, like we're hearing all across the country, much higher than the 4.9. That was a risk. I think it would have been lower myself, but I'm not the one on the jury. It could have come in higher, and then we would have been stuck with it entirely without any help from the insurance carrier had we not cooperated with the insurance carriers in making this resolution. What would that have done? Even any judgment would have put in limbo or made it not possible to continue our efforts to improve our infrastructure, to not fix our roads, to not fix our water. We would have lost a lot of money had that come to be. So this, in my mind, was an important thing to get done. Yes, I don't like it. And no, we really didn't have any input into the number. That was the carrier's decision. They made it. And so that's why I voted for it, was to protect the city and its taxpayers from any further liability or expense.